like we're having fun.
Hey guys, welcome back to Michigan State Bushcraft. Got the group of hooligans here from Michigan State Bushcraft for our first meet and greet and camp out. We're up here in Cadillac, Michigan at Lake Olga. Stay with us.
You like it up there?
So this is my digs for tonight. Simple High Hopes hammock. High Hopes is a company out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. They're a relatively new company. Here's my nephew Alex's digs for this weekend. He's got a Coleman tent, 4-person. Brian's got himself a nice little camp chair going on. Pretty cool, looks comfy. I think I'm gonna try it out later. This is Justin's setup right here. He's getting some pine boughs for his bed. Pretty nifty setup. I gotta find out a little bit more about it. So tell us who you are.
I am Justin Patterson.
Tell us a little bit about your shelter here.
This is a DD Hammocks 3x3, the tarp. As far as I know, nobody in the United States carries this. I ordered this from the UK about 3 years ago.
Nice, nice. How much they usually run?
I think with shipping and everything across the pond, it was about 70 bucks. I'm not sure what they cost. If I remember right, about 40 or so US.
So, so this is your own little setup here, how you tied it back and everything?
Yeah, it works.
What do you call it?
Gives me a little bit of an awning here.
Hey, whatever works.
I'm still trying to figure out a name for it, but the closest I can come up with is a bird's beak.
Hey.
It kind of looks like a bird's beak, doesn't it?
It does, it does. It does look like a bird's beak. It's unique. I've never seen it like that before.
Yeah,
So,
I like it. It just gives me kind of a little bit of a porch.
Right. Well, duty calls. They're calling me back to the lakeshore.
All right.
Guys are set up all over the place. We're up there. Got more up there. You can see those. Dennis has a setup over there. He's got a camper going on. Hey, whatever works, right?
All right, so the tarp, I got the parachute rolled up right on the cord there. We're going to use this thing and grab a little bit of both. Grab it. Put it over there for sure.
Hey, it worked. Cool.
Yeah. So there we go.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
That is a pretty sweet technique.
Next side of your name. You get that. Ferro rod. There's a little bit of that on there.
There's a fire.
guys, welcome back. We made it through the night. Didn't get a whole lot of footage last night, but probably not appropriate for TV. But here's day 2 up at Olga Lake, and hopefully today we'll get some footage of doing some skills. Maybe we'll take a hike and look at the terrain and nature. Stick with us.
Yeah. I have to burn this stuff. Something, and like as it starts to like fall apart, you might like swing harder, and then you kind of strain yourself and you get in an awkward position, and that's when you're going to get hurt. The bad stuff's going to happen. So what I try to teach is logs like this, you want to be able to chop about halfway through it and then turn on the other side and chop the other halfway through, and you work a pattern. If you guys ever watch those the guys that do the timber sport stuff, you know, when they're bucking through the logs. So on something like this, I might come through and I'll start it like this. I want a V in here halfway. I'll come through, throw my axe down like that, and I'm going to start. This is kind of you're scoring your V. I'm going to start right there, and then you're not killing this thing. You just slowly working this pattern. Come down here. Now at this top chop here, I want my handle horizontal, just to keep the follow through safe. And see where I'm standing. I'm moving my body. And not over swinging, just trying to keep it, and I'll stand here. I mean, if it does blow through, which it could, because this is rotted stuff. But what you're doing, that's a V, that's about halfway through. Now you hop to the other side, and I'm just going to start at that top spot there. This is going to be falling apart on us. So well, here's another thing on a lot of logs too. I'll leave that hinge at the bottom, just because you're not taking the chance of digging your axe blade into the dirt. And if you chop 2 V's and there's a little bit of a hinge connected at the bottom, the center, that's great, because a lot of stuff you can just score and snap it. And like this here, probably, well, when it gets there. Now you didn't dig your axe in the dirt. You got a good clean cut, and that's how you process big stuff. That was a little ugly because that stuff's rotted, but
I learned something.
But yeah, work a pattern. You work a pattern, and you're actually scoring a pattern. And hit on that side, hit on that side. It just starts popping chips off, you know. And it's just, you don't got to kill the thing. You need a sharp axe, and accuracy is far more important than power. So you just kind of work that pattern before you know it. Just big chips just start peeling off that thing, and you're not overly tired. I mean, how do the guys? You know, people used to like
Well,
make,
and that,
put up firewood with an axe.
That's the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Processing firewood with an axe, you know, it gets taxing and
It's
stuff. And it's part,
that's work, man.
it's
you know?
probably the fault of the technique.
Yeah, so it's together this way. And kind of, yeah, that one's good snap.
Chrissy.
Cold weather's a little bit of a pain for doing this, but if you're careful, you kind of wrap stuff around here. Take it a quick tie.
Be good.
I just kind of wrap it around. Tuck it in there. Just gotta do. That there, just keeping it bound like that, it won't want to fluff. When it fluffs up, it's going to get a little bit too much air. This is going to kind of keep it closer to burn fast. So let's go hit this with a lighter over there, just for fun. There's no some birch bark in there, but we can take a walk later. There's birch bark and fatwood over there. But these twig bundles are a lot of times. If you really need fire, I would put a little birch bark in here, whatever you can to make this better. But if you can find a spot,
like a warming, drying fire, or like an emergency.
Yep, that is for sure.
Oh, man, look at that. Look at all that.
Yeah. Well, take that and pass around and smell it. We'll find one, a big one that can smell. There you go. That's all.
Damn.
Like some of it's better than others.
I can smell it over
My
here.
kid would take that and like go hide it under her
Smells
bed.
just like pine saw. That's how
Small from here.
One of the guys I was talking to
That's
said,
all
if
the
it smells
rubber
like
from
pine saw, you're in the right
The
spot.
darker
Yeah.
it is, the better it is.
Yeah.
Here, hold that up.
Now that's fat wood.
This would be a
See that?
I've
cigarette.
used a lot of fat wood. You can find stuff that's like pure, like
Some
you
of
look
it's
at
really
it.
resin.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy.
If you get this even deeper, if you get
Yeah.
this even
Like
deeper,
down-
get into the
down
top
into
root,
here.
right.
This is,
It'll be
that's burning.
right. It'll be solid. It'll be solid fat wood.
See the fizzle of the boil.
Another
coming off
thing
of
you
it?
can do with fat wood that I do personally, so you take like a 22-ounce beer can and you cut the bottom off of one, and you take another 22-ounce beer can and you just cut just the top off so they kind of nest together, and take your piece of fat wood and set it in that top can with a couple holes punched in the bottom. You just put it in the oven at like 250. What you'll get is the extraction of all the pine sap down into the bottom can. And then you can use that for like gum, like glue, all of that stuff. And then you don't have no filtering to do at all.
You do that with birch bark too, the thick birch bark.
It'd be the pure, yeah, it'd be pure, yeah. And what it does is it basically saves you a whole step of the filtering process.
Right.
And they use that I don't know if you guys ever seen that Ray Mears episode where the dude in Sweden, he had a big 55-gallon drum that was the same way. They load up the fat wood, and he's like, this was the tar, and he's like, this is what kept the British ships afloat. They coat, this is your varnish. You put this on the lines, on the rigging, coated this on
Tons
the
of
wood.
applications on it.
Still usable. Now, that right there. Remember I showed you the horsehoof fungus?
Yeah.
That is horsehoof fungus right there.
Yep.
Collect that. Grab some of that horse. I'll get it.
All right.
Oh, there's definitely
There's a piece.
grade. For instance, when I was in Alabama,
You guys all played with birch bark, or some of you guys
about
downstate?
every log.
This is worth to me. This is like
Every time I see a
definitely
birch
a
tree,
a go-to. Like you want to learn how to start this with a fire steel,
I
just like
collect it.
yeah, just like right now.
Yeah, that one's fairly fresh though. It would have it, but typically what I find is like I said when I was in Alabama, I think heat has a ton to do with it. Like
Yeah, there's some mushrooms on there too.
because
So
what happens is it allows it to go down. When a tree dies here, it's cooler. It doesn't. If the heat from the day doesn't. Summer. It's always and that's just my opinion. I don't think that but
You guys know about these, right?
we're talking
Horse
about
hoof?
fat wood still. Like when I was in Alabama, the fat wood down there seemed like it was in like just about every.
Now when you scrape this up and you make it nice and dusty in there, and you can throw a spark in there, a couple sparks from ferro rod that'll ignite that. You'll have a coal. You can carry fire around in this thing.
Actually, there was an episode about this, and they had one of those tinder mushrooms inside a birch bark basket.
Yeah.
And the Ishi or Itzi or whatever the caveman guy, Otzi, they found a leather with two of those and a basket with one that would have been still burning embers.
And that's the thing, some of the stuff that we still use today,
Natural lighter walking with
ancient. It's not new ideas, and that's the thing. You have certain people that think, oh yeah, I figured this out. No, you didn't. It's already been figured out for us. It's just that's
just
why
realized it.
Right. That's why this is so important right here. Passing this down, especially to the younger guys. Being able to share it with my nephew and my kids, getting back out in the woods, teaching them all these outdoor skills, and learning more myself.
Not to mention, it's not only healthier for us, it's healthier for the earth too.
Right. And that's the thing is, you always get the people that don't want to cut down trees, but they don't understand if we don't cut down some trees, they'll kill themselves.
That's how they figured out why is the redwoods and sequoias not grown anymore, where you need to have fires to open up those cones, or you don't have new growth.
Yeah, with like the jack pine. If they don't experience fire in their lifetime, they'll never drop their pine cones, and their seeds will never open up. Fire is what causes them, and they only do it every 10 years or so. if I remember that information correctly. It's like every 10 years the jack pine will drop
Yeah, it's
their
something like
cone.
I do know that a certain amount of heat is required
Right.
to open them
Yep.
after they have fallen.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, we have
Moss. You know anything about moss? I've been seeing there's a lot of
This might be a blueberry right here. There's a lot of blueberry. This is all this lower stuff here. I know it's blueberry because I've been out here, and I think this may be as well. This is sphagnum moss right here. Or no, yeah, that's sphagnum moss. It's frozen right now. It collects tons of moisture. That's another. I think in World War II they harvested that. It was World War I maybe. Harvested that and dried it out and used it for packing wound or
Wound packing,
like gauze type stuff. But you've seen the natives used to put that in the babies' diapers to absorb. You know, it's very absorbent, so you can get fresh water out of it. But it's also antiseptic properties. That is the most comfortable thing to wipe your ass with in the woods. You get it slightly damp, good patch of sphagnum moss, man. I
I've
tell you
used
what, man,
cardboard.
it's like
It's
an
not fun.
antiseptic. That's like feel that. That's like really soft right there. And you could. Yeah, you could pull up. Good, and that's really. So I guess it's got an antiseptic property, and it holds moisture really well. So. Yeah. Once
Take
you
that and dry it out.
Yep, you can dry it out. Yep, you can dry it out, and they used it for. I guess they were harvesting. I think it was World War I or World War II. They were harvesting it for, as an antiseptic as far as putting it on wounds and stuff like that. So because it's got the ability to absorb. It absorbs like in the summer. You can come out and you can find it where there's areas where it's like it's absorbed rainwater, and I've seen people take it and squeeze the water out of it and drink it. And it's. I don't know about the bugs and stuff.
But also good for antiseptic.
Yeah. Yep.
If there's bugs in it, you need
Yeah.
protein anyhow.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
what
If
the
you
hell?
had a pack of wound out here, if I cut myself good, I'd put that balsam fir sap on it on the wound, as that like antiseptic, and then pack that around it, put that around it, and put a bandage on it, and that'd kind of be my go-to for first aid type stuff. So here's that wintergreen is all over the place.
Oh yeah.
You could store it though for next year.
Oh.
Chicken in the woods, dried up. You're not gonna eat it.
What is that?
Chicken in the woods.
What the hell do you mean chicken in the woods?
You can eat it. It's an edible mushroom. Yeah.
That is absolutely black paper bird.
Yeah, yep, because I can tell that little branch.
Rings.
What made
I was like this. I'm like, what the? That looks like birch peelings.
Yeah, well, this branch right here does not look like cherry to me at all. That looks like birch. Oh, another thing, if I could, check this out. Maybe it's the right time here now. So this is, is this black birch? Some of these, you could find some buds. Let's see if these ones.
There's one.
The black birch has a wintergreen flavor. Certain time of the year we might be able to look past it, where this birch will actually in the winter there'll be a coating of almost like crystal sugar on it, and we know what xylitol is. It's a sweetener. It comes from birch trees. That's what it comes. That's where they. I don't know how they harvest it, but we were up in Canada in March, and you could these are probably been warmed up too much. You could rub your hand in there and you could stick it in your mouth and kind of suck on it, and you could taste, and it wasn't like super concentrated, but it was like sweet. And when they're dried, this ovum is really feathery looking, and this is what all those little seeds with the hairs that are floating around. This is what they're connected to. If you pull those out and dry them, they will catch a spark from flint and steel. So it's a piece of chert or a piece of.
This is like a flat.
That's the fluffy stuff, and we've had some of that. That's aged. That has actually caught a spark when it's aged out in the sun and weathered. But that ovum in the center is one of the best natural things that I know of that'll catch a really fine spark.
Let me see your lighter. Light it.
Hot dogs on a stick.
And milkweed is
cattails too.
Milkweed is one of the best foods if you guys have ever eaten milkweed or not. But it's like it has multiple. I'd say if I was going to teach you guys food to eat for actual survival, I would say milkweed and cattail are like the top two because they both of them have very, very long seasons with multiple things you can eat. Milkweed, you can the young shoots, you can eat them. Then you get the green pods. You can eat the flower. You can do the flowers before they open. Then you can get the green pods.
This is milkweed.
Yeah. Yep. And then these, the stalk. Is this it right here? No, or is that?
Now, cattail you can eat in all seasons, from what I understand. The roots.
Yep. There's
It
different.
tastes like potato.
Yep, and there's different stuff. So this is also.
Some people say it tastes like.
Oh yeah, might be too far gone.
Yeah.
This will also make good cordage.
And also, people need to, they take it out of mucky, swampy ditches. That might have something to do with the taste too.
Yeah, right.
Geography.
All the frogs got 3 legs. So okay, on the milkweed, are you eating the roots again, or are you eating?
No, you're eating different. There's different parts. I'd suggest really Sam Thayer. He's over in Wisconsin. He's got several books that I sell. His books are fantastic. They're the best wild food books on the planet if you want to learn wild foods.
Oh yeah.
He's going to be down in Ann Arbor early June. I'm going down there. So I plan teaching. But yeah, I look at a book because there's multiple things to identify it as and throughout the season, of what you can use. But it's definitely one of the top. They taste great too. It's really good. It's good food.
Now, is there any of the books specific for regions?
Yeah. Yep. A lot of in his books. He's in Wisconsin. He's got, I'd say, 90% of what's in his books is applicable for Michigan. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So.
Now on the cattail too, obviously, I call them hot dogs on a stick. If you take that head, I don't know if you take that and you go like that, and now you got all fluff. That shit's a good flash tinder, but have a nice tinder bundle already.
Yeah.
Right.
Use it as
mix something with it.
Yeah, mix something with it because it burns so fast. But the thing is, it catches a spark so easy. So if you have that as your flash tinder, and then you actually have your tinder, to help.
So put it like into a bird's nest.
Yes.
Yeah. Mix some other fibrous stuff with it.
Yeah. I like yucca for cordage.
Nettle's a real good one too. Nettle and dog bands around here too.
Yeah, I watched. We talk about Ray Mears all the time, but these Morse Clancy and Ray Mears are like the top echelon. And I watch a lot of stuff from Ray, and he was doing the cordage out of nettle.
Yeah.
And he was showing how if you brush up against it, it sticks you, but if you actually grab it, it doesn't. You know what I mean? And you can clean it.
Yep. It's really good food too. I'll harvest nettle in the spring when it's coming up along the river down there. That would be a great time to have a class if we wanted to actually harvest some food. I think trout season's just open, and then you get ostrich fern and nettle and wild onions, and you can actually get some really good. And it's tastes good. Good veggies.
I had the kids do that the other day with the cedar bark, showing them how to increase the surface area of it. Even the hard outer bark, I had them doing that. It turns into red fluff so they could catch their sparks. There's natural tinder all around us. You just got to learn how to utilize it and process it.
Right.
That's a little too wet, but it's a little wet, but because the base of the root that I grabbed was a little wet, but I think it would burn still. You can do that with just about any plant. Make it into like a, it's a little wet. Keep that in your pocket for an hour.
Yeah, it'll dry out. It looks like dryer lint like that once it's all processed and fluffed up.
Yeah, right.
What's the inside of a plant called? The fiber? There's a name for it. That's what that is, anyhow.
Inside of the plant.
Cellulose?
Core?
Inside of the plant.
It's inside the
fiber's
plant.
part of the inside of the plant.
I didn't grab the root. It was wet.
Yeah, so much content.
He's got a video too that I've got. If you get his first book, he's got a video that goes with it.
Let's see what you're going after.
I highly recommend it. That book and video.
Everyone wants that rock.
There you go.
So one way I'll do if I want to light a feather stick, and this is not a good example, so I'm gonna make a ton of excuses for this now.
You want to do
Oh, no, hold on. I'll show you real quick because this might let's give you the idea. Actually, let me cut down this side here. Okay. So if you're feathering, what I'll do, and we're gonna pretend these are good feathers. This is kind of small. So here's your bigger feathers here, and those are harder to light with a ferro rod. But what I'll do is put out a few big feathers, and then what I'll do is take my knife and score lines lengthwise here. And this doesn't have to be perfect. Just score some lines in here. Now that you've got these scored lines in here, now when you lightly feather over top of these, what's going to happen is you're going to get a bunch of small feathers with a bunch of surface area, and that large surface area right there. That's your trick to getting small feathers and lighting.
And then
the
the
fire
little
still.
ones, the little ones are going
The
to
little ones
light
will
the
light
big
the
ones.
big ones.
Yep.
And what you
It
want
looks
on
like a big
these
black
is you
turd,
want a
really.
glancing blow. You want in slow motion this steel to scrape the edge of that
It'll be
rock.
like,
Hold on,
So it's just a
blob like
barely
that hanging off the
flick your
tree,
wrist, glancing blow.
That's a broken.
Hey, it went the other way.
Yeah.
I got a defective spark. It went the wrong way.
Maybe.
Yeah,
bigger
you
even.
can't. Here. Okay. Chaga. All right, that's a chunk. So here's what I do if I want to start a fire with the chaga.
Stick that on top.
I hold that right on top, one or the other. And I try to go for the sharp edge though.
Like that. Do I put it right to the edge? No, don't eat it.
Close to the edge.
Close to the edge.
About like that?
Yep.
See if we can get it together. Gotta get some good
You gotta
sparks.
hit the cord so it sparks.
Right.
Practice getting a spark first and then add your material.
Okay. Hey, there was a
This
spark.
one is not sparking very good. Let me get a clear edge here.
There you go. Not yet.
Oh.
It went out, but you did have a spark land on it.
Yeah, it had a spark.
Yeah. Keep going.
That's the one thing about the real
There you go.
flint.
See that?
Is very
Keep blowing it. Keep blowing it. There you go.
Well, that's just
There you go.
cool.
Did I catch it? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, charcoal. Sweet. Yeah, for sure.
All right, my turn.
And this chag is a little more difficult than the charcoal, but
Hold this.
Yes,
this
sir.
works. This is a really crumbly piece. Looks like I'm getting a very good spark out of there.
It's almost the same, Rod.
Yeah. So let's see if we can make this work.
Shit just took off.
Okay, you gotta find out.
Let me see that flint. Holy cow! Did you make this?
No, it's
That's his.
Oh,
that's a nice one.
I always whack my knuckles when I.
Yeah, I know. That's
do
why
these
you
things.
handed me. I was like, I like this
Oh,
one.
there you go.